contents on this channel are for learning, insight, and introspection.
Pleasers. Of course we're gonna. Of course we're gonna. Of course we're gonna. Of course we're gonna fail to develop a personality because we're so busy mirroring back yours. What do I even like? Do I really like cake? Or am I just saying I do so you don't hate me? Haven't expressed a need in like 27 years. I'll even drink a whole milk latte when the barista messes up my order, even though I'm severely lactose intolerant. I'm not okay. Something is about to burst. We're people pleasers. Of course we're gonna let you have the last bit of dessert.
Hey, YouTube, welcome to Mind Your Mind with Just Justified. Happy 2025. So this is my first video of the year, and I decided to talk about people pleasing. So you saw that first video, so let's jump right in, because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to experiencing or being a people pleaser. So let's check this next video out.
Become a people pleaser? You wired that way, or is that a trauma response?
For sure, trauma response. I had to go all the way back to where it started, and it started in my household. And it's rooted in wanting to be liked and not ruffling feathers and making sure that making everybody happy. Like, you like me.
Yeah.
You know, it's rooted in wanting to have validation and be liked.
I feel that. I have been, is a people pleaser.
Yeah.
All of those things. I can't tell if it's about being liked or trying to manipulate belonging.
Explain that.
So I cannot tell if I am doing it because I want people to like me, or if I am so desperate for a sense of belonging that I manipulate myself or the situation in order to have a sense of belonging.
Wow.
I think sometimes what we're calling is I want to be liked is really I want to feel like I belong somewhere. And so whatever music I need to listen to or not listen to, whatever actions I need to take or not need to take, I'm willing to do that because at the core, I'm looking for a sense of belonging.
Wow. So the first woman in that video referred to people pleasing as a trauma response, wanting to be liked or wanting validation. But the other woman offered the thought of wanting to be liked as manipulating belonging. I thought that was like eye-opening right there. So with wanting to belong, you accommodate, mold, manipulate yourself into whatever you think is needed to keep the peace. You are accommodating, molding, manipulating yourself to whatever you think is needed, not even know what is necessarily needed healthily, but whatever you think is needed to keep the peace. So you're also doing that to probably be accepted, or just not to even ruffle feathers. So I thought that was really an interesting perspective on people pleasing. So here's a video that breaks it down significantly, and this one kind of hits home for me. So let's check it out.
Why are you a people pleaser? Let's talk about it. People pleasing is when we put our needs, our desires, our safety, our health, our emotions on the back burner for other people. And we subconsciously do this because we were conditioned in childhood to do it. And if you're following me because of the anxious attachment style, a lot of times we people please so that the person won't abandon us. But in return, we end up abandoning ourselves. And we do that by not saying no when we want to, by feeling like we have to lie and appease and kiss people's ass in order to be validated, in order to keep a relationship, in order to keep a friendship, in order to be cool with mom and dad. And the more that we continue to disregard our needs, the more we start to resent the people that we are people pleasing for. But then, as you start to heal, you realize the person that you really resent is yourself. Because in somewhere between childhood and adulthood, you forgot or didn't realize that you're not a child anymore. And you don't have to agree with everyone and have the same opinion as everybody in your circle and say yes to everything in order to have friendships and genuine connections. And if the people in your life are making you feel that way, they're not really your friends. They are benefiting from a version of you that lacks boundaries. They are benefiting from a version of you that doesn't feel like your needs or wants matter. And that's exactly the subconscious programming that you keep perpetuating every single time that you don't honor your needs and your wants and your desires. You are subconsciously telling your neural pathways, I don't matter. In order for me to gain friendship, romantic relationships, validation from my parents, I have to abandon and betray my needs and wants for them. I can't be honest about how I'm feeling because of how it's going to affect that person. So what you're saying is that you matter less and they matter more. And people pleasing is also a form of emotional manipulation, because clearly if you felt aligned, never saying no and always doing things for others and never yourself, you wouldn't be here listening to my video feeling extremely burnt out and resentful. So I ask you, why are you people pleasing? Why don't you feel like you can be honest? Why can't you feel like you can speak your truth and set boundaries with the people in your life who are supposed to love you? And if you're in a relationship, how are you supposed to articulate and let your partner know what you like and don't like, need and don't need, if you're constantly doing everything that appeases them? Let me let you in on a little secret. You may think that going along with the grain, never having an opinion, showing up for everybody else, and going out of your way to make sure everyone else is around you is comfortable at your expense is the way to thrive in your relationships. But you're actually teaching people not to respect you, not to value you, and that no matter what you're going on, their issues, what they need is always going to matter more. And you can't be mad at those people. You can only be upset with yourself because you're allowing it. So let's figure out why so you can heal it.
Wow. So this woman brought up so many aspects. She brought up one of the influences derived by childhood. For example, someone with an anxious attachment style. So that's some things to look at. Someone with an anxious attachment style, if you're aware of attachment styles, from the fear of not wanting to be abandoned, but ends up abandoning ourselves in the process because we're there putting ourselves last while we're putting them and their needs first. And she even brought up that the more that we abandon ourselves, the more we resent the people we are trying to appease. So it's like kind of an ironic cycle. Like you're doing everything to appease them, and then you end up like resenting them because this is not really who you are, what you want, but you're trying to please them, and what it takes to please them, you're kind of ignoring self. That's something else. So then it doesn't even stop there, because when we start to heal, that resentment is then directed at self, because we notice later on that they're not really the ones who are at fault because we allowed it. So there was a lot of time that passed by without you advocating for yourself and did not exercise setting boundaries. In return, your self-worth and esteem took a hit. You ended up manipulating people's perceptions of you and not standing on who you truly are. I really love this skill that is shared in this next video. So let's check this out.
You want to know something interesting about people pleasing? People pleasing isn't about pleasing other people at all. You want to know what people pleasing is really about? It's about your inability to feel uncomfortable, normal emotions. I used to struggle with people pleasing. I was a yes person. I would scan the environment. I put everybody else first. I was constantly anticipating everybody else's needs. And the way that I broke the habit is realizing that it's possible to be a really good person and put yourself first. But you can only do that if you are able to tolerate the feelings of guilt or sadness or somebody else's disappointment. So you just got to practice it, and then you'll no longer be a people pleaser. And so here's how you do it. The next time somebody asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, say no, and then let the feelings rise up, let them be disappointed, wait about 90 seconds, the whole thing passes, and you, my friend, will have just broken the habit of people pleasing. You would have felt the emotions you were avoiding, and that's the skill that you need to take control of your life.
So she basically said to allow yourself to feel emotions that you avoid. So next time someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, allow yourself to feel that, you know, whatever you think you may feel, allow yourself the option to feel it. And even with the looming emotions of guilt, sadness, or disappointment from others, you still need to allow yourself to feel those emotions. The feelings pass eventually, and you're able to still, in return, advocate for yourself. So I think that is one of the main issues that a lot of people get into, because they are assuming the outcome, and then while assuming the outcome, you're not advocating for yourself. You're losing yourself. And that may not even be what the outcome is. And even if it is, you need to know that you're standing up and advocating for yourself. And if that's something that you do not want to do, you are allowed to say no. So, because I have to admit that this is something that I am actively working through. And, sometimes it varies from person to person. But as I listen to a lot of these videos, being true to me and authentic to me is what shouts out the most. And not showing up authentically is not helping anyone in the long run. It's not helping the people that I love, because they're not getting the real me. And it's not helping me because I am not being the real authentic me. So if you have a struggle with people pleasing, understand that you're shortchanging yourself. Let me hear about it in the comment section below. I know it's not always easy. And sometimes the best things for us is not always easy. And we have to kind of condition ourselves to be able to swallow that pill. All right. So thanks for stopping by. I want to hear from you in the comment section below, and enjoy your 2025 being the authentic you. Mind your mind, okay? Because if you don't control your mind, it will control you. And with that being said, peace. Ooh.